Hi, I want to introduce Daniel today. He has a story to share with us and a life story to tell us.
Yes, my name's Daniel, and I've been through some things that I want to share my experiences and the things that have happened to me. It's more of a experiences that God has worked through and has allowed me to experience, and not by myself, but to have that experience with Him and learning. And it's been a process. So I would like to share some of that with some of the questions that we have today.
I know that you are the number eight of nine kids. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
Um, how you would describe your life as a kid?
It was rough for the most part. It was rough sometimes. We were limited finances, so it was rough. But some parts were happy. I think the parts that I spent with some of my siblings, um, not everything was bad. I think there were moments where were super bad, which is part of the experience or the testimony that I have. But for the most part, it was experimenting a lot. It was getting to know a lot of things about myself that I didn't know, as well as getting to know God in a different level, but I didn't know as a kid.
Wow. What is the worst memory you have as a kid?
Um, so when I was 7.5, maybe I was molested um, by one of my siblings, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know. I was scared. I was ashamed. There were so many feelings as a kid that I was going through. But I think as a kid, I remember going into my mom's room and just praying to God to. And I think now that I look back, I'm like the Holy Spirit was there. But it's been a process for me to be able to understand that. But I prayed to God and I was like, if you let this happen to me again, ever again, you will not be able to use me in your ministries. I would not be able to testify or to do anything. And I was a kid, so I'm like, why would I know, or why would I say that?
Wow. Do you have any good memory? Any good memory as a kid?
Yes, I remember playing with some of my siblings. I loved to play as a kid. I think that I cope with some things with food. So the fruit, I love, I miss the fruit from my country, from El Salvador. Um,
Wow.
that was part of the things that gave me comfort. I think when you're going through something, like, you find things that give you comfort, and for me was food. Like, it gave me comfort. Those are good memories.
Did you believe in God before you were molested or abused?
No, I don't think I did. I don't think I understood what that meant as a kid. But I think part of me knew, because now looking back at those moments, why would I go and pray to God if I didn't believe in God? So it's been a long process for me to understand that the Holy Spirit was there. And I've had confirmation from God that He was there. It's just been more of a process to understand God's plan. Um, but it took years for me to understand that.
What would you tell that little boy that was abused or molested? If you have the mind that you have now, what would you tell that little kid now?
That God is going to be there for you at all times, that you're not alone. Because I think I felt alone, that I felt alone. And I think, like, looking back now, I know that God was there. Like, I feel His presence, I feel the Holy Spirit. And I've asked Him to forgive me, because I've gone through the process of, like, being so mad and angry as a human being that, where were you?
Yeah.
So
Wow. That's amazing. And what would you tell the kids that are getting right now at that point and they feel like they don't deserve anything. What would you tell right now to a little girl, a little boy that has been molested and they don't know what to say? What would you tell them?
I would say that even though you feel alone, you're not alone. I think that for me, I try to commit suicide. There was a lot of things that have happened to me. So because of what was happening and I couldn't process it as a kid, I think that you try to protect yourself as much as possible. Like you go in survival mode, but I think the most important thing from my experience is that God is there. Like there is someone there that cares for you, that loves you, that is always going to be there, whether you believe it or not. Because there was a point in my life when I was a kid that I did not believe it at all because I didn't. We as human beings, we see things through our eyes. We don't see faith. We just believe in it. So for me as a kid, like it took me years now being 37 for me to realize that I wasn't alone, that God was there with me at all times, that he suffered as much as I did. It was just not physical. Um,
Well, I wanted to say thank you for sharing with us. Thank you because it takes a lot for a person to be able to share the story. And I want to tell everyone that is watching us that it's going to be a second part. And I hope that we can bring hope to others that they are going through things, and maybe not necessarily what you went through, but they find confidence in God, and they find out today in our video that God is real, and no matter what is going on in some people's life, He's still there watching over us. So thank you, and God bless you to all that are watching.